Alright, so before I turn my iPhone, or before I cancel my iPhone contract, thought I'd do a little comparison. People often hear me kind of slam the iPhone a little bit, maybe. So I thought maybe I'd just show you kind of what else is out there. This is a lovely DROID X. It's my new phone. AT&T is getting canceled in the morning. Anyways, basically my problem is that near my campus, I get no reception on the iPhone. The library is hopeless. About 3 miles, for some reason, right where my school is the biggest dead zone ever. And since I spend about 80% of my awake time there, I thought maybe I'd have a phone that works. So I'm canceling my iPhone and I'm moving to a DROID. I actually had an iPhone first, then I had a DROID, then I had an iPhone 3GS. No, iPhone 3GS, regular iPhone, iPhone 3GS, then a DROID, then an iPhone 4, and now I'm back to the DROID X. I have ADD. I've determined that I have ADD, especially when it comes to gadgets. But anyways, so yeah, so the first thing, speed test. And actually, go ahead and run speed tests on AT&T. And basically what this is doing is testing the speed of the networks. And I don't know why AT&T, actually Verizon, they're both brilliant at home. At home, these are faster than some people's internet connections to their houses. For some reason, my house is a great, that's 3 megs down, nearly a meg, or over a meg up on AT&T. Verizon's a little bit slower, 1.9 down, you can't really see that, 0.271 up. I will tell you that I did some tests in different places today. Overall, AT&T is faster, peaks. Verizon is much more consistent. Verizon is also consistently a whole lot slower. The uploads never get anywhere close to what AT&T has on its fast times, and AT&T is also usually faster on download. Having said that, I got a bunch of, especially in my dead zone near campus, a lot of basically null results on the AT&T. A bunch of like 0.01, I mean, it was crawling. So if you're looking for, maybe if you've got a data card, AT&T might be best, because just strict data, it seems to do okay. But it was definitely more sporadic. And yeah, so this is basically running, the DROID X is basically a 4.3 inch screen, so obviously it's a whole lot larger than the iPhone. And today's the second day I've had it, and I'm starting to get used to it. I mean, it's a lot bigger in hand. It's not that much taller, or thicker rather, at least in the center. It's got a little bit of a hump back where the camera sensor is, so that kind of takes some getting used to. But I do like the screen. I find myself tilting it horizontally to type, because it's just more manageable in hand. And it's using a slightly skinned version of Android. And basically, as you can tell, if you're an Android geek, I have it set up more of a stock. I didn't use any of Motorola's widgets. I think they're pretty freaking ugly. But, let's see. Something that they do that's cool is that they can be resized. Oops. So, that'll bump stuff and the widget changes, so kind of hard to see. It's a calendar widget. So that's pretty neat. I like the idea of resizable widgets. And as you may or may not know, no widgets on an iPhone. The iPhone simply gives you icons, so applications, and you can do folders, so multiple applications. But as far as at a glance information, as you can tell on Android, I have a weather widget going, If you slide over home screen, I have a calendar widget, so I can just swipe over from my home screen, see my schedule, and then I can just hit the home screen button back. So a lot more information easily added. If you're in the middle of a text, if you're on a home screen, it pops up as a little bubble, and you can't go around it. You have to close it or look at it. You don't really have any options as far as ignoring it, other than to click ignore. I like a whole lot better how notifications work on Android. That being said, there are some applications where I think the push notifications on iOS work better, namely stuff like actually Twitter and Facebook, because they get pushed, they come as soon as they occur. Facebook can be a little bit wonky, but they're wonky on both platforms. But on Android, you have to set it to poll. So like it's checking Facebook and Twitter every 15 minutes, and then it will let me know in my notification shade. Different applications have different settings, so you can probably find a different Twitter app that polls every minute, but that's going to suck down and kill your battery life. So some things that iOS does better than the software design. That's kind of more of a background kind of a thing. But like I said, so far the Droid has been pretty nice. It's you can pretty much use the phone without having the Moto Blur skin or whatever really come into play. There's a little bit difference here in kind of how they styled the dialer, but overall I'm not as disappointed with the skin as I thought I would be. If you look at the press shots, they use a bunch of the Motorola widgets, which gives it its own flavor, but you can completely ignore that if you want. What I don't like is they've got a lot of bloatware, crapware, like 3G mobile hotspot. Okay, that's cool. Backup assistant. I don't know why Verizon's trying to push backup assistant. If you have a Gmail account, which you have to have in order to use the phone, it automatically backs up your contacts. So that's just kind of pointless. A Blockbuster app, I'm not really sure that Verizon's 3G network is really fast enough to want to watch things over 3G. I haven't tried anything. And if you're on Wi-Fi, you can probably have a computer or an iPad with Netflix, which there are a whole lot more Netflix subscribers than Blockbuster. So I'm not sure. I mean, it's obviously a, tie-in. DLNA lets you kind of connect your PS3 to your phone. I tested it out. Worked pretty easily once you got through the initial setup process. But you can stream basically photos to your big screen TV without, having to plug anything in. It's kind of like AirPlay for iOS. FM radio, it's a whole lot more popular on Android phones that they will come with FM radios, which is pretty cool. Not many people listen to FM radio anymore. And it comes with all of the Google applications you'd expect, Maps, Google Search. It even comes with Latitude. And then there are a bunch of Verizon apps, My Accounts, My Verizon Mobile. Comes with Need for Speed Shift, which I haven't played yet. It's got a 1 gigahertz processor. It's an OMAP 3000 series, so it's got horsepower, and it really does fly. Skype mobile, Skype on Android is kind of neutered at the moment. You don't make phone calls over the internet connection if they're domestic calls. So if I want to place a call over Skype, I'm still using Verizon Minutes, whereas on the iPhone, it's actually a voice over IP application. It's actually dialing out, transmitting over the cell network or the Wi-Fi network, and definitely allows for Wi-Fi calling when you've got a gap in coverage is pretty neat. VZ Navigator, which I'm not sure why Engadget had a Sprint VP on, and he was talking about how people prefer Sprint navigation, some people, to Google Maps, and I don't know why that is. I've seen nothing compelling about VZ Navigator or Sprint navigation that kind of trumps Google Maps. But as you can tell, very fluid. I mean, there's no lag at all on a DROID X, which is pretty neat. Same can't be said of the original Droid. So overall, I'm pleased. Verizon, I actually just bought it on a 1-year contract, which was more expensive. But if you're going to buy a new smartphone every year, which I have done like 3 times this year, only buying a 1-year, if you can get on a 1-year contract and you don't early terminate, you can get a new handset for a whole lot cheaper than full price. So instead of paying like $149, I paid like $150 more than that. But the discount you get for buying when your contract is up makes up for that. So if you kind of want a new smartphone every year, I would maybe consider paying more up front, because you'll be eligible for a pretty sizable discount earlier, obviously, than a 2-year contract. But definitely loving Android, loving Verizon again. It was a pretty rough 3 months. And I'm not sure that, when Verizon gets the iPhone, which is supposed to be first quarter of 2011, I'm not sure I really miss. One thing I do miss is that, unless I'm mistaken, which I don't believe I am, a bunch of the Android devices will only do one exchange account, and I wish you could do more. Just because it seems like a pretty arbitrary limit. I mean, you can do tons of exchange accounts on an iPhone, so I'm not sure why Android's limited only to one. Just a little minor niggle, but overall, loving the Droid. Sorry, Apple. Better luck next time.